Hey guys, I just want to do another market update here. Last time we talked a little bit about what's happened the last few years coming through COVID into the more current market. I want to update us kind of from the beginning of this year to present, just so we can get a little more focused on what's going on more recently. Again, interest rates have been continuing to go up, which typically puts a downward pressure on price because people can't afford to borrow as much when the cost to borrow that money goes up, right? However, I talked about this back in late April, May when we did the last market update, that I expected prices to still go up. And this is a median price for the greater Phoenix metro market. So I expect these prices to continue to go up even though the interest rates have been climbing. It's cooled off a little bit from June to July, but I would still expect a broader trend of price increases in the area because again, big picture, the demand for people wanting to move here and live here still exceeds the supply of homes available in the market. And we'll talk a little bit more about that, but also the supply continues to go down. So the number of available homes for sale, number of active listings, that number has continued to decrease basically week over week, month over month for the past several months, basically since the beginning of the year. And that tends to correlate pretty well with this, kind of a supply-demand thing, right? If you're looking in a very specific area, it's important to distinguish what that individual market's doing versus the greater Phoenix metro, which is huge. Phoenix alone is like 525 square miles. That's just a Phoenix address. Talking about all these other towns, Buckeye, things like that. What's going on in Buckeye has very little to do with what's going on in Cave Creek. Buckeye is quite a ways out of the Phoenix metro. It's further west as you go towards LA. It's off the 10. You'll notice the prices do tend to be a bit lower, like the median price here, $395, right? Just getting up to $405. Buckeye tends to be a little bit cheaper market. It's been a little slower to recover in terms of prices going up, but you see right now the trend has been steady and climbing. So if you're somebody looking to buy in that area, you want to keep that in mind. This is one of the areas where the development is impacted by the water issue, right? When you hear about these building permits, we'll do a separate video on the water issue, but it's important to note how that impacts that market because this aligns a little bit with what my prediction would be, which is prices going up because as you don't have building permits, you're not building as many new homes, restricts the supply, it makes the existing homes more expensive. Let's go Cave Creek. Cave Creek is a pricier area like North Scottsdale. So the median price here, much higher, right? $720 when it was low, up to like $900,000. But the trend more recently for Cave Creek, unlike what you see in Buckeye, is actually the price compared to back in April, let's say, you've seen a pretty significant decrease. Now Cave Creek can be a little trickier market because there's fewer transactions happening there. And so you see the range, 555 to 1.7. So when you start having more multi-million-dollar homes, of course that might skew your numbers, especially on fewer transactions, like a smaller market like Cave Creek. You might be like, hey, this is a great time to buy. We're down off the high prices. We got to get in now because it continues to climb. It's going to keep getting more expensive. Let's pop over to Chandler. This one's near and dear to my heart because I have a home here. Again, this has remained a pretty strong market. It's above the overall median for the Phoenix metro. General trend has been upward, but a little bit cooling off from June to July. We want to stay kind of somewhat focused on a little bit larger trend because month by month that can fluctuate depending on how many transactions there are. Now you notice the Phoenix graph looks a lot more like the all cities or Phoenix metro graph. That makes sense because Phoenix is the largest market, so you got a lot of volume of transactions and that's going to help kind of pull things towards that as the center of gravity. But again, broader trend, prices are up this year. They are a little bit flat lately, but this has been in the face of interest rates continuing to go up. The last Fed meeting, they didn't increase them, but they've indicated there might be future increases down the line. So keep that in mind that a lot of this people, willingness to buy something and all that's impacted by not just what's going on right now or what's been the last few months, but where they think it's headed to. There's a little bit of cooling off now, so it does present an opportunity to buy. And for those of you that have a little bit more cash or a little more money to put down, the interest rate may be less of a factor for you, so you can get a steal right now. For those of you looking to sell your home, the number of available homes on the market is actually very low, and we'll show that on a separate update. So it is a great time to potentially list your home. And if you want to talk more about that, depending on your individual market, we can get a little more detailed scenario and whether or not it makes sense to make that move now. Just wanted to go over kind of what's happened with median price. We'll do another one of these for total number of listings, like homes available in the market, so people have an idea what supply looks like right now. More importantly though, if you got more questions, you want to talk more about this, you want to get specific individual markets, let me know and we can kind of get into that. Give me a call, text, hit me up in the DMs, whatever. All right.